Hello, and happy holidays to all of you noobs out there on YouTube. As you may be aware, the video game industry has had its fair share of fed items over the years. And if you have hair on your balls, you may even recall the piss-poor, handheld, LED game craze that happened in the 80s and early 90s. Here are a few samples of what I am talking about. Tiger Electronics is the main culprit behind them. And they weren't afraid to whore them out with every franchise under the sun. Luckily, by the mid-90s, Nintendo completely murdered the market for these, with the release of their superior portable gaming unit, known as the Game Boy, for those of you living under a rock. Just when you think things are going to get better, we move ahead into the early 2000s. Unfortunately, this decade wasn't immune from having a video game shit show of its own. And that shit show, to which I am referring to, is none other than these plug-and-play TV controllers with games built in. Once again, companies hoard out everything imaginable. And Hannah Montana, the game I am reviewing today, is no exception. Let's check it out. So this game is called 1 in a Million, which also happens to be the same probability we have that this thing ends up being any good. To their advantage, this does have 4 games built into one, so I guess the game designers have a few chances to make something that isn't a steaming pile of cow shit. So one game is called Lilyboarding, the others, Photo Frenzy, Mannequin's World, and Maul Mayhem. And then the box designers had Miley off to the side looking at the games, as if she is liking what she is seeing. Hopefully she has her contact lenses and for Christ's sake. Moving on. Look what we have here. A one-button controller with a joystick. The layout looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? Oh yeah. They ripped this right off the Atari 2600 from 35 years before. They were really taking the gaming industry to new heights with this one. But guess what? This thing takes 4 goddamn AA batteries to work. And an even bigger problem. What the fuck do these things? I do not see any inputs of this nature on the back of my 95-inch Sony Bravia 8K HDR Nano Cell QLED UHD TV, which is completely unacceptable if you ask me. The joystick itself is in the shape of an electric guitar, and has a clear bubble on the top for gripping, which is okay, but clearly the button designers think we are as dumb as fuck. Check this out. There is only one button on this, and it is labeled as the A button. Just in case we get this one confused with the other non-existent buttons. Jesus Christ. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Pop the video game in and play the game. Right off the bat, we have a huge problem. Do you hear that music? You do, okay. And more importantly, do you recognize that music? Hell no. Not a single song on any of the game levels is from the show. What the fuck? The first 2 albums are the only TV soundtracks to ever get to #1 on the Billboard charts. But guess what? The game designers are like, you're not getting shit. Enjoy the generic stock 16-bit music I just pulled out of my ass. As we move into the first game, I instantly began to projectile vomit. Why? Because this minigame is a direct rip-off of the NES Back to the Future game. For the love of God, you ride around on a hoverboard and even collect clunks. Is this a sick joke? The only thing it's missing are the bowling balls. I have to admit though, the controls are as tight as Dwayne Johnson's ass. If my PlayStation 5 controller was this responsive, I'd have no complaints. Even though this game made me blow chunks at the beginning. After playing it a few minutes, I have actually come to find it far more palatable than the Back to the Future NES game. So I will give this one a free pass. 1 star. Oh great. Photo Frenzy is like a third-person like gun game. Instead of shooting endoskeletons coming at you, you are throwing autographed photos at crazed fans running at you. How original. I have to say, the game designers made Hannah fans sneak up on her from some pretty unique places. Behind dirty-ass garbage cans, hiding underwater fountains, sneaking up in crack whore alleyways, driving up in pedo vents. Goddamn, this game is getting weird. The next game is called Mannequin's World. And let me tell you, if you are good at the board game, guess who will be a fucking boss at this one? Why? Because it happens to be a direct rip-off of that game. Hannah will tell you what costume she is looking for by telling you certain characteristics. And then by deduction, you have to figure out what costume she actually wants. This seems pretty simple, but the 2007 graphics are blurry as shit. And my 480p tube television is not helping the matter. If this game were in 2160p, I wouldn't be having an issue right now. Jesus Christ. And this one goes on forever. Every time you guess what she wants, she changes her mind and asks for something else. Then you have to do it all over again. Fuck you and your shoes. I'm done with this shit. Whoa! YouTube viewers can't see me skipping out on this game. My credibility is at stake. I'll just edit that out in post. The last one is called Maul Mayhem, and is perhaps the one that most resembles an actual game. Basically, you go around as Miley, who was on a school field trip at a shopping mall. But guess what? Hannah Montana also happens to have an autograph signing there at the same time as well. So you have to get to certain checkpoints in the mall before time runs out. When you are Miley, you have fellow students trying to stop you to get help with their homework in the middle of a shopping mall. Which makes no sense, but at this point, I have stopped giving a shit about game logic. I'm just trying to beat this thing like any legitimate YouTube game reviewer would. In the first level, you have a police officer blocking the stairway. So you have to find something to distract him with. Can you guess what it is? A fucking donut. How stereotypical. On to the second stage, same scenario, except a dog this time. You need to give him a bone. Overall, this game is pretty easy, except for the times your classmates try to gang rape you for homework help. The next level, there is a hose squirting out water onto the next stairway you need. You can't just walk around the puddle. You have to turn off the hose before you can advance. Goddamn. How many floors does this shopping mall have anyways? After you change clothes and become Hannah Montana, you have the same students being a pain in the ass. But instead of trying to gang rape you for homework help, this time, they are just trying to gang rape you in general. And if enough gang rape participants get on the screen at once, the game begins to lag worse than my PS Now streaming service. Look at this shit. How am I supposed to avoid that? After the autograph signing, you have to race back to the school bus before time runs out. Oh shit. I just beat the game. My YouTube game reviewer credibility is at an all-time high right now. Congratulations. You helped Miley live the dream. It's been a long day, and now it's time to return home. Goddamn. That's about as bad as the Ghostbusters ending. Oh well. I guess we're done here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my YouTube Christmas special. Oh, you don't think this episode was very Christmassy? Oh no, look what you did now. You pissed off the special effects department. Shit. Now it's colder than Sub-Zero's balls in here. Goddamn. Thanks for watching. And be sure to support the show by rating this video. What is it now? I've told you a million times, 1 to 2 p.m. is reserved for counting money.
Xraj, I need you to sign off on the new NFTs we're going to list for sale on our website.
I don't give two shits about those things, as long as people fork over the Benjamins for that worthless garbage. You got it?
Sorry, Mr. Xraj. And also the Archfiend is waiting online too.
Whoa! Fuck me.